Max Verstappen may be on the verge of pulling off one of the most impactful transfers in modern Formula One, with growing rumors suggesting a potential move to Aston Martin. These speculations have intensified in recent days, following new revelations about the exit clause in his Red Bull contract. The Silverstone-based team, which has been building its structure meticulously over the past few years, believes that with all the investments made in technology, personnel, and infrastructure, only one key piece is missing to complete the puzzle. That piece is Max Verstappen, who could join the team as early as the 2026 season. However, Lance Stroll's future remains a big question mark in this scenario, especially given the delicate balance between performance and family favoritism within the squad. The big question now is, could we see Fernando Alonso and Verstappen sharing the Aston Martin garage under the new regulations? And if that happens, would this duo endure, powered by Honda's engines? Red Bull, on the other hand, is clearly going through a rough patch. And as is often the case in such situations, the environment becomes fertile for speculation, negotiations, and unexpected movements. However, what we have now goes beyond rumors. This time it was directly confirmed by Helmut Marko, a key figure within Red Bull's management. He openly admitted that Verstappen's contract includes an exit clause, and even hinted at a likely time frame for its activation. This kind of clause is relatively common among elite drivers, but in Max's case, it is tied to performance. Specifically, if the team fails to remain among the top 3 in the standing, the driver could request to leave the contract, which otherwise would run until the end of the year 2028. With a series of negative factors affecting Red Bull's performance lately, it becomes harder to imagine Verstappen staying that long in a declining environment. It's important to remember that even though he won the title recently, that was largely due to his individual talent. Without Max, Red Bull's results would likely have been disastrous, placing them in the midfield. The current situation only reinforces that perception. Even with all his skill, the 4-time world champion has struggled to extract the same level of performance we saw in previous years. In the 2024 season, for instance, Red Bull's car was, for most races, only the 3rd fastest on the grid. When addressing the clause and its potential implications, Helmut Marko emphasized that the team's main priority is securing a 5th world title for Max Verstappen. He stated that the entire team is working hard toward that goal. Marko also clarified that although performance clauses are common, each driver's contract contains different conditions. In Verstappen's case, the summer break is expected to be the critical period for serious talks about his future. Still, Marko urged for patience, reminding everyone that Max currently sits 3rd in the drivers' standings, only 8 points behind. The season is far from decided. Meanwhile, the specialized press is closely following all behind-the-scenes activity. British broadcaster Sky Formula One, via commentator Simon Lazenby, reported that Aston Martin is currently the frontrunner to sign Verstappen. According to him, Max's name has become a hot topic around the paddock. After speaking with sources from Dutch media, Lazenby revealed that some believe the deal is already done, while others suggest negotiations are ongoing. It's an atmosphere filled with uncertainty and expectation. Although the identities of those involved remain anonymous, there are people who firmly believe Max is headed to Aston Martin. On the other hand, doubts arise. Why would Verstappen choose Aston Martin if the data from Brackley suggests that Mercedes could dominate under the new regulations thanks to their superior engine? The truth is, when looking at realistic options, Max appears to have his sights set on only 2 teams, Mercedes and Aston Martin. The former already seems to have an early edge in adapting to the upcoming rules. However, since battery systems will also play a major role in performance, caution is warranted until more concrete testing results become available. Still, there are strong indications that Mercedes intends to keep its current duo of George Russell and Andrea Kimi Antonelli. Rumors claim a $30 million 2-year offer was made to Russell, which, although officially denied, shows how central he is to their plans. With solid results so far, Russell is the only driver to have finished in the top 5 in every competitive session of the 2025 season. That significantly narrows the path for Verstappen to join Mercedes. Thus, the most probable direction seems to be Aston Martin, and that possibility isn't new. Many analysts have suggested that the team has been laying the groundwork to receive Max for some time now. Key factors such as the Honda partnership and Adrian Newey's involvement are seen as decisive in these negotiations. Max himself has shown deep appreciation for Honda, not just for the results achieved, but also for how their engineers operate. He praised their dedication, professionalism, and the positive relationship he built with the Japanese technical team. For Verstappen, his time with Honda was unforgettable and marks one of the most successful periods of his career. Nevertheless, there's an obvious limitation. Currently, Aston Martin has only 2 seats and 3 potential drivers. Someone will have to leave for Max to come in. If it were solely up to Lawrence Stroll, team owner and father of Lance, Fernando Alonso would be the one to go. But Alonso has already said he might retire after 2026 if no contract renewal is offered. Even so, this decision isn't entirely Lawrence's to make. Adrian Newey and Honda will also have a say in the driver lineup. The Japanese manufacturer has made it clear they want to be part of that process. In other words, pushing Alonso out to make room for Max might not be the smartest move. While Verstappen can certainly contend for the driver's title, he's unlikely to win the Constructors' Championship on his own. And, with all due respect, Lance Stroll isn't the ideal teammate for such an ambitious campaign, unless he wants another season of public humiliation. Some believe Lance has shown signs of improvement in 2025, but it's still too early to claim he has returned to top form. 4 races are hardly enough for a definitive assessment. A serious discussion may soon take place between Aston Martin's leadership and Lawrence Stroll. The goal? Convince him that, in order to reach greater heights, personal ties must sometimes take a back seat to pure performance. Whether he accepts that remains to be seen. But it's now evident that broader interests are at stake. Koji Watanabe, president of Honda, also expressed praise for Verstappen. He stated that he hopes for another opportunity to work with Max in the future. According to Watanabe, Max always communicated clearly with Honda's engineers, earning their admiration and commitment. He reiterated that Honda will voice its opinions regarding the driver lineup for 2026 and beyond, just like it did at Red Bull. The scenario is becoming increasingly clear. Max Verstappen has 3 possible routes: stay with Red Bull and attempt to rebuild from scratch, join Mercedes to form a super team alongside Antonelli, or bet on Aston Martin and try to recapture the magic he once had with Red Bull. Factors like Newey and the technical trust placed in Honda make the third option especially appealing. Honda's initial concerns about the new power units are gradually fading. This suggests they'll enter the new regulations with confidence. And if a constructive meeting between Max, Honda, and Aston Martin takes place, no one will be surprised. According to Juan Pablo Montoya, the offer Max will receive will be too good to pass up. The former driver believes Max may give Red Bull 1 more year to fix things, but he knows that Newey and company will need time to reassemble the operation. While there's potential for improvement, a return to dominance won't happen overnight. Considering all these variables, the question remains: will Verstappen leave Red Bull sooner rather than later? And more importantly, which team do you believe is the best fit for this new chapter in his career? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you haven't already, be sure to click the video that's now appearing on your screen.